Wow. Honestly, I'm so impressed at Mirio. I just love him even more as the chapters come. Oh my goodness, people. How amazing was Mirio in this chapter? Togato Mirio, the closest person to being number one. Like, wow, I'm just literally left speechless because it is so much facts that he is so deserving to be number one. Not only with skill, but also the spirit itself. Like he can be the total embodiment this of being number one. He can be the next symbol of peace. I know Deku's gonna be the greatest, but like who's to say that there won't be other number ones before Deku gets there? Like that's how I want it to be. Like I think Mirio should be number one. He has to be, man. He absolutely has to be. And that doesn't mean that Deku won't be in the future, but let him, because Mirio is just so awesome and just in this chapter. And of course I'm hyped at the things that he do, like he's phasing through the walls and like the floor coming up punching chronostasis. The thing is what gets me so hyped, and it kind of makes me laugh as well, because if you understand, like if you remember how Overhaul, he's just a germ freak basically. Well, that's not the right term, but you know what I mean. Like he just doesn't like contact. He does not like germs. Any of all that kind of stuff. He hates it. So the fact is that Mirio punches him, like he phases. This is what gets me hyped. He phases through Overhaul's hand, so obviously his quirk just has no effect on Mirio, and then he kind of solidifies right when he punches his face, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like the precision and control that Mirio has on his quirk, it just astonishes me as the chapters get released week by week. It's phenomenal. Now, so yeah, imagine this. So Mirio comes in, punches Overhaul. Overhaul hits the ground. As Overhaul gets back up, Mirio comes in and punches him again. Like it's so hilarious to see. Like first of all, it's just funny because, especially from Overhaul's point of view, imagine that you get punched, you get thrown to the floor. As soon as you get back up, you get punched again. Like Mirio is literally what he did right there. That's the definition of kicking someone when they're down. Like that's gotta annoy you so much, and you just see the frustration in Overhaul's face, like with the sweating and how annoyed he is at Mirio. Like he must hate him right now. So I just really did love this chapter. So basically, what I see from this chapter, what is really important, and what kind of Mirio's doing and Horikoshi's stressing in, Mirio really is, through all his actions, he's just literally proving to Eri that he is worthy of being her hero. You see it throughout this chapter and even in the previous chapter, you know, we know the mistake that Mirio made and we see the regret that Mirio had on him, how annoyed he was of what he actually did, and how he basically let Eri go back into Overhaul's arms all those chapters ago. So we know that throughout this fight, Mirio really is proving to Eri that he is worthy of being a hero, but he's also putting in some real justice to Overhaul because he is so disgusted at what Overhaul actually does to Eri. Now we get confirmation that Eri is in fact not Overhaul's daughter. Now that opens up a whole nother amount of questions in itself. Is Eri kidnapped? I don't know. Like, is Eri just a girl that that literally Overhaul kidnapped off from the streets? Did she used to have a family? I feel like if she did have a family, that would make her backstory even more tragic because like she grew up into a loving home, but somehow along the way, Overhaul just managed to take her off from the streets. Who knows? It could be something as simple as you know, they go out shopping and Overhaul's there and just basically takes her just like that. Now, if the whole fact that Eri was kidnapped, now the reason that she would have been kidnapped obviously because of the quirk. So, and we see from this chapter, all of Eri's importance, all of Eri's significance, her purpose is because of her quirk. Literally, Overhaul even says it in this chapter how every single one of her actions is to kill people. She is a cursed being, and is that's just so like I'm disgusted as Overhaul saying that to a child, even though it's not your daughter. It doesn't matter. That doesn't make it any better. Even though like, oh yeah, she's not my daughter, I can say anything. No, like this is a child here. The mental stability, her whole what is probably so sad is what Eri must think of herself. That's the thing. Like that's because of the words that Overhaul is feeding into this little girl, like saying you're just a cursed being, you're just made to destroy other people. Like, what must Eri think of herself? And we got a little bit we got a little bit of focus on that some chapters back when Eri was like lying on the bed saying, "Oh, like." To about thinking about Deku saying his hands were so warm. How could someone think about like that with me? Or something along the lines of that. So we kind of do know a little bit of what goes through the mind of Eri, and it really is sad. I can't like deny it. And just seeing Eri's emotions through this chapter, it was so uplifting, you know? When Mirio's coming in, and yes, those punches to Overhaul was so satisfying because you see Eri's face, and it's not like she's smiling or anything. It's in fact no, she's actually just getting shown a different perspective. Like she's getting shown new things and she's getting possibility. Like she's seeing Mirio actually have the advantage over Overhaul, and she's thinking, hang on, it's possible I can be free from this man, I can be saved. And it's just like the feels in this chapter, man. When they animate this and this gets animated, it's gonna be so phenomenal. So yeah, Horikoshi's just been done a really amazing job on Eri, and seeing Eri and just seeing this arc, it kind of really does mirror back to the summer festival arc when, you know, Deku was saving Kota, because Kota kind of was going not through similar things, but Kota was basically hated heroes. So Kota was just like, when Deku was going through such lengths, Kota was like, why are you doing this? And obviously Deku was like, so I can be your hero. And I'm just like, ah! Like, it's so awesome. This is why I love Boku no Hero, man. Horikoshi, you're such a G, man. You're awesome. So other than this, throughout the chapter, you know, I kind of did like Overhaul. Overhaul's quirk's pretty awesome, and it was amazing to see in a different light, because what we've seen of Overhaul's quirk so far was basically things of what we've seen from Shigaraki, you know, touching something and it disintegrates. So it was really awesome, especially, you know, touching body, like physical contact with another being. So it was really cool how Overhaul could basically just destroy the ground. This is what I was kind of thinking, what I really wanted to see. I was always imagining, what if Overhaul just basically touched every foundation of the building and then everything just comes down on everyone? I'd be like, yo, that's kind of lit. And now it would just be so like tense as well. So we kind of see it in this chapter. Overhaul just takes off the gloves and just puts his hands to the ground, and you see everything. Just the whole all of it just gets broken up into fragments, and then he reassembles it in a different way. So it's just so awesome, you know. It kind of, not gonna lie, it links. It really did make me think of other characters in this series. For example, when we see Overhaul like break the things and kind of make different things out of the walls, it kind of reminded me of Todoroki. Because basically what Overhaul is doing, he's doing two things in this attack. He's making a defense to cover himself, and he's also putting an offense out to basically not get people near him and take them out. And that's what we basically see Todoroki do throughout the sports festival and during the Stain arc. Like, he uses his ice as a barrier because he doesn't want people to come close. And that kind of basically... It kind of hints at they rely so much on their quirk, and we see it. Not saying that Overhaul's a bad hand-to-hand fighter. We know that he's not, because he was able to keep up with Rapper and defeat him 5 times, but he's not as strong. You know, he's in comparison to how good Mirio is with hand-to-hand contact. Like Mirio hand-to-hand combat, that is his strength. That is his absolute strength. That and his maneuverability. He is so good on that. Like, you can't really top him on those two things. That's why when you're fighting Mirio, you really can't, even if you try and get as far away as possible, he's going to get up close to you, and that's what he does. He gets in close to you and takes you out. That's what we see him doing with Overhaul. So it was kind of interesting to see how Overhaul's using just the surroundings to basically create barriers against Mirio, because he knows if Mirio gets close, it's game over. And we see it in this chapter. Mirio's coming in, phasing through. And this is why I got so hyped, because the whole action of Mirio phasing through Overhaul, like right through his hand, was basically saying, your quirk can't affect me. Like, you can't do anything to me. So it really got me hyped, and it was just so awesome. So I wrote down some of the things which Mirio do throughout this chapter, which is so impressive. Like, first of all, the cape. Now, the cape and the whole thing with Mirio talking about it, like the whole meaning behind it, how he says, you know, this is for little girls who've been tormented, to wrap them around in comfort. I was just like, You're the number one hero. I'm saying it now. You are the number one hero, man. And the whole thing how he was like phasing through the ground to attack Chronostasis. Now, this is the one thing in the chapter which kind of threw me off guard a little bit. A lot of people are saying that Chronostasis dodged the attack. Now, from where I read it, it looks like he does, and I think it's got to do with his quirk. In this chapter, Mirio states something along the lines of how he cannot get hit by Chronostasis' quirk, so we know it's something that Chronostasis can target. He can use to target people with. So a lot of us were thinking that Chronostasis quirk was something on the lines of stopping time, and maybe it is something like that. We see in this chapter how it's weird. Like Mirio Punt comes up through the ground right to uppercut Chronostasis, and then in like the next panel, Chronostasis seems like he's been like shifted or like he's being pushed further away from Mirio. So I don't know what's actually happening right there in that movement. But it looks like, I don't know if he stopped time, maybe for like a little millisecond, so he kind of like shifts or like moves, but it literally like he kind of not teleported, but like lagged. Like he just kind of got displaced from Mirio. That's what it kind of looked like. I don't know. That's what I saw from it. But what was interesting about just seeing, the interaction between Chronostasis and Overhaul. Overhaul's interactions with his teammates, we know about it. It's very unlike Shigaraki. As Shigaraki cares about his teammates, Overhaul really doesn't. Overhaul calls Chronostasis, he calls him an idiot. And Chronostasis, he says it back to himself. He's like, idiot? Like, he's kind of questioning, like, I'm helping you here and you're calling me an idiot? Like, I do feel like part of the way that he treats his comrades can be his downfall. I really do think so. And it's really interesting, and I really hope it's something like that in this kind of series, because to be honest, typically in a lot of anime series, like the villain organization, they don't really get along. They're always kind of glued together because of fear of the boss. Like the boss is just so overwhelmingly powerful that they just obey him. And it kind of seems like this is what Horikoshi's doing with Boku no Hero, but it's kind of different because these guys, they don't really believe Overhaul, and it seems like, I don't know how to explain it and put it into words, but it seems like the whole fact that Overhaul doesn't trust them, they're going to be like, you should trust us, we're helping you here, and because you don't trust us, then why should we help you, It maybe something like that's going to happen. I'm not sure. But however, there are some characters which do trust Overhaul, and that is Nemuto or Nemoto. We see in this chapter, he comes back up and he's just like, the capo chose me, the boss chose me, so I'm going to save him. And this is where it gets really tense. This is what I'm getting a little bit terrified about, because he has the quirk bullet again. Now, throughout these past couple of chapters, we've seen Mirio dodge them time and time again. However, it's a little bit different in this chapter. This is what I think. We see him throughout the chapter. See, Horikoshi focuses on Mirio holding his breath a lot throughout the chapter. See all the things that Mirio does, and he's in this chapter, he uses his quirk. And we know for him to use his quirk, he holds his breath because he can't breathe. So I do think Mirio's stamina is getting depleted bit by bit. So I don't know if this bullet was aiming at Mirio or whether it was aiming at Eri. Either way, someone's gonna get hit, and it seems most likely like it's gonna be Mirio. If it was aimed at Eri, seems like Mirio's gonna try and take the bullet or push Eri out of the way. Or if it was aimed at Mirio, maybe he just doesn't see and he can't dodge it in time. I don't know, but who knows, we'll have to see, because it really does look like Mirio's gonna get hit. Now, I personally don't want him to die. I don't want his quirk to get removed. I'm getting the same vibes as the All For One All Might fight, when everyone's thinking, oh no, was All Might gonna die? Like, same thing here, is Mirio gonna die? I don't know. Personally, I don't want him to. I think it'll be better for his character for him to stay alive. I personally don't think he's gonna be a stumbling block to Deku. Instead, I think he'll be someone to grow. I think he'll be someone who will grow Deku, not block him. That's what I think personally. But otherwise than that, this chapter was pretty lit. I loved how we got a little bit of the backstory on Shisaki. And it's really interesting how the old boss picked him up and kind of groomed him to an extent. Not in that kind of way, but you know what I mean. Like, kind of mentored him. But, you see, Overhaul, this is the thing. the Yakuza don't agree on Overhaul's plans. They don't think it's like the real Yakuza, what they're doing. What Overhaul's doing, they don't think it's similar to like what the boss used to do. They think Overhaul's kind of strayed from the moral path, and he actually has. See what he's doing to Eri. This is a child. But at the end of the day, Overhaul sees it as he sees that he's whatever. He doesn't care what he's doing. Like he sees, he knows that he's got the right heart. He knows that he's got the right intentions. Because at the end of the day, he wants to revive the Yakuza. He just wants to basically have his boss. He wants his boss's organization to flourish again, and that's what his intentions are. So you know, he doesn't see what he's doing any wrong, but it is. And from the Yakuza's point of view, they're like, this isn't how we do things. So then again, this is another. I don't know if it's going to be a downfall to Overhaul's character, but it's another complication to what he's doing, I think. So yeah, pretty much this chapter was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it so much. Once again, it's just showing you how awesome Mirio is as a hero. It really does raise the bar chapter after chapter about how amazing he actually is, and you just see it over the pros. Mirio's stronger than most of the pros. Like, come on, think about it. He's titled as being the closest to #1. So yeah, that's enough from me, guys. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments below, what you thought about this chapter, and I'll see you next week for that greatness that is chapter 152. Peace out, guys, and goodbye.